where does Brock Purdy currently belong as far as like 49ers tier quarterbacks? And I'm not saying he belongs in one tier or the other. The way I phrase this question, which tier is Brock Purdy closer to? The top tier is Montana and Young, right? Then the second tier, and I think there's a big drop off, and you could exclude or include other quarterbacks, but it's, Colin Kaepernick, Jeff Garcia, Jimmy G. You want to throw Alex Smith in there? Cool. Like, where is Purdy? Which one is he closer to? Is he closer to the elite status, or is he closer to Garcia, Jimmy G, whoever you want to throw into that category? What do we do with Brock Purdy and what he's done so far for the 49ers?
I mean, for me, he's elite. My definition of elite is the picture of Brock Purdy. Like that's what he is. He wins games, and he wins playoff games. And unfortunately, he hasn't had his opportunity to win a Super Bowl game. And so he's not in that stratosphere as of Steve Young and Joe Montana as of yet. But if he's in that second tier, he's definitely trending toward that Joe Montana, Steve Young category. And in my opinion, he surpassed all the other players that you mentioned: Alex Smith, Jimmy Garoppolo, Jeff Garcia, and those guys. Forgive me if I missed anybody, but he surpassed them. And I think everybody sees it because when you watch Brock Purdy on the football field, it's a kid that doesn't get flustered. It's a kid that'll make a mistake and find a way to rebound off of it. He's very resilient, and he's starting to control what the defenses do. And that, to me, when you become a manipulator in the pass game, as the quarterback, yeah, I'm gonna make you do this but I'm gonna do this like that. That's it. That's it. He's probably the best point guard quarterback we've had since Steve Young, and so I like what Brock Purdy is doing. I'm not trying to put this kid on a crazy high pedestal, but he's earning that every single week, even in the 3 losses. We wanted to hold him accountable for those 3 losses. Okay, well look how he's responded, and no one wanted to factor in that he was missing his key maker.
Right.
but now they see that Debo is the key, right? Now they're understanding that this offense, doesn't kind of tick the same way. It talks, but it doesn't tick without Debo Samuel. And then you get a healthy Debo at that. We were just talking about Debo just being in the damn lineup. Now he's healthy. Man, listen, Brock Purdy is entering that stratosphere, bro. He gets a Super Bowl. He's elite in that conversation.
Yeah.
Steve Young only got 1. Brock needs 1. He's entering that conversation.
Yeah. Sean says, Purdy is about to leapfrog everyone to 3rd all-time MVP in a Super Bowl ring, puts him number 3, with potential to be number 2 when it's all said and done. Here's the crazy thing. Brock Purdy's 23 years old still.
Bro, can you imagine when Brock Purdy turns 27? Like, can you imagine him at 27?
You know what I want to look up? How old was Steve Young? His first year he started with us, he was 26.
Right.
He's got a 4-year jump on Steve Young's time with us. That's something I really haven't thought about very much. Now, I asked this question on Twitter, and it's pretty bad. 82.6%. This is over 2,200 votes, so it's not a small sample size. 82% said he's closer to the Montana Young tier. Now, I'm not saying he's there. And I get, a lot of these comments are, we got to wait till the end of the year and all those things. I get that. But at the same time, I think it's just interesting with what he has been able to accomplish. And for anybody saying system quarterback or whatever else, they don't pay attention. They don't watch film. Most of the NFL analysts on those, big stations actually don't watch film, don't watch the NFL. They sit there at their computers watching Red Zone and try to find stats to, back up their already preconceived notions. And that's okay. There's a place for that in today's society. That's okay. But man, and I think people are all over this spectrum. Oscar said he's behind Garcia, Cap, and Jimmy G. I'm cool with that. If longevity is what you're looking for, I have no problem with that. But this kid's already got 2 playoff wins. He's already got 2.
And I get it. Cap got us to the Super Bowl. Jimmy G, Super Bowl appearance. I get it. I get those guys have Super Bowl appearances and they failed. But at the end of the day, and I'm just basing it off of what Brock does, man. There's no way Brock and this 49ers team will get to a Super Bowl and lose. It's just almost impossible unless there's the inevitable happens. Like, you know what I mean? And then when you look at the way that this team continues to just like sync up, health is the key. If they stay healthy, I mean, they're well balanced. And you already talked about what tips them over. It's the health of that defense. The defense is number one for a reason. You want to play a defense. So what? The defense might be ranked top 10, top 12 in passing yards. Ask me what they're ranked in points, John.
Yeah. What are they ranked in points?
Number mother freaking one. Number one. And then what was funny is when they entered into week 14, guess where they were ranked? Number 2. Guess who they were behind? The Baltimore Ravens by 0.2 points, 15.6 to 15.8. The Ravens just gave up 31 points, my guy. And all of a sudden, now the Niners only gave up 16 points. So they gave up 0.2 more points than they were giving up all season long against the Seattle Seahawks, which I was pissed off about because I wanted them to only get 13. But they ended up getting that stupid, silly touchdown to Kobe Parkinson because all of a sudden we just can't cover tight ends, which is the only thing I feel like we struggle against on the defense because we just leave tight ends wide the motherfucking open and they can romp a seam and it's a touchdown. I'm tired of explosive plays from wide receivers. Sorry about the rant. Anyway, my point is they're the number one scoring defense for a reason, Craig.
I love it, man. I love it, man. Well said. And I'm loving all these, comments coming in. David says Montana was 25 when he first won his chip. Now, I think Brock Purdy's birthday is this month. He's born around Christmas. That should tell you something. So yeah, we'll have to see there. Right here, Daryl, thanks for the super chat. Would it have been cheaper right here to pick up Kinlaw's 5th-year option? No, definitely not. You didn't want to guarantee it for injury. So maybe you do keep Kinlaw, but it still will be cheaper than what he was going to be. So yeah, that's okay. And we'll see. We'll see what this looks like. Now, depending on where you are with Purdy, Dak Prescott has overtaken him again as the MVP favorite because of the game against the Eagles, which he had a good game, not near as good as the Purdy game against the Eagles or the Cowboys.
I don't get it. Purdy
they want him to be there. I mean, the Cowboys.
And I understand that, but it doesn't make sense if the quarterback has better numbers.
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
in
every category. Okay, so Dak has 2 more touchdowns. Fine. So you're telling me 2 more touchdowns and 1 less interception is better than all the other categories? Is that what we're talking about? Because it's almost like unlikely for Purdy to have a 4 touchdown game. Like that's an anomaly for the San Francisco 49ers because they don't have to throw it. They could run the ball down your throat and beat you with 4 touchdowns on the ground and maybe get 1 in the air and still have 5 touchdowns. Look, I get Dallas has a higher scoring offense with their number 2, and they might be number 1 because the Miami Dolphins were number 1, and I don't know where they're ranked right now. I haven't looked up anything, but it just doesn't make sense. And I'm not hating on Dak because I think he's having a phenomenal season. But man, I'm telling you, yo, if Purdy keeps getting overlooked, and you know what? Actually, I'm cool with it. Let that be the fuel to his fire.
There we go. This chart, I freaking love this. This shows every team's. The higher up you go on the vertical axis, it's the more pass yards you've thrown through. Now, only 3 teams, the Cowboys, the Dolphins, and the 49ers have thrown for over 3,400 yards. Only 3 teams in the NFL have. However, the bottom horizontal axis is pass attempts. The 49ers have the fewest pass attempts in the NFL. Out of all 32 teams, they're dead last. They throw the ball the least. However, they're third in pass yards.
Yo. And it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter if they're yak. Since when was yak a hindrance into the NFL? Like, it's the reason yak is not. No one complains when Tyreek Hill is getting yak or all these other guys are getting yak. Like, since when is yak a problem? We were the yak bros 2-3 years ago, and everybody made it a big deal. Oh, they're the yak bros. And now we the yak family because we got more than 3 now. Everybody get yak if you a 49er because all you got to do is catch an accurate pass and be who you are. The moment I saw Jawan Jennings getting yak, I realized, oh, shoot, this offense is different because he's the slowest wide receiver and he still can get yak. That's my point. The players still got to get the yak, bruh.
I'm just saying, stay with it, man.
I'm tired of the hate. I need the 49ers to win this Super Bowl so I can just I can lose all my freaking endorsements because I will lose them. I will risk it all. I promise I will go ham on the NFL and every analyst out there. And the moment I see an analyst try to jump ship and talk about how this is a good team, they are getting the business.
It makes me happy when it gets better. I'm trying to look up currently the Yak total yards, and I don't think I'm going to be able to find it live on air, and I apologize because whenever you look at the stats, it's pretty interesting, but I can't pull it up. It's not pulling up fast enough on Pro Football Focus, so I apologize for that. But yeah, if your complaint is Brock has too many Yak yards, you're wrong, and you're not even looking at the numbers. That's just what somebody told you, and you're just repeating it.
But they didn't complain when Jimmy
sense.
Garoppolo was doing it. They didn't complain. Oh, Jimmy Garoppolo, yeah, Jimmy's nice, man. Look, he threw a 1 yard pass, he threw a half a yard pass, he threw a 0.25 yard pass, and yeah, Yak is amazing. Now all of a sudden it's not amazing because
what yards after catch, what that measures is accuracy and anticipation, throwing open wide receivers. That's what Brock's one of his best things at doing is he puts his players in positions to be successful.
The 49ers Rush Podcast.